What is up, everybody? This is Jason with formerly of Animal Planet Scaled, and the owner of Calgary Reptile Parties in Alberta, Canada. And I love showing off my animals. And since I've been able to do it in person, I've been doing it with videos. And so once again, if you saw it last week, I had a really great chat with this beautiful lady right here, Jann Arden, and I wanted to show her some more. So we're going to pretend like this is a different video, even though we're both dressed exactly the same.
Listen, we're busy in isolation. We just wear the same clothes day in, day out.
So, you know, it's interesting how, like, as artists, you know, we often have so many different irons in the fire. Like, you know, I had the TV show. I, traveled across the country. You have done a lot of hosting. You're a singer. You're a songwriter. And the new season of Jann is coming out sometime before 2025.
It is. The COVID thing sort of pushed everything back. It was supposed to be out in end of March, and then it got moved to May, and now we won't be going to the fall. Advertising is down everywhere, and CTV, the Bell network, is no different. So, you know, they spend so much money making these shows, and they just really can't enter into that whole thing of committing to airing the show without advertisers. So we're in a holding pattern like everything else, but it's really good.
It's a catch-22 because everyone's home, they can watch it, but yeah, you're right. If the advertising isn't there, that's...
Yeah, but it's, I think they started airing season 1 last week. So just as a little reminder to people. So it's amazing how quickly time's going by.
Yeah.
And yeah. But yeah, thank you for that. What do you got for me today, Jason?
I have something that is totally awesome.
Ooh.
This is a smooth-sided toad. So they are found in South America, and they are one of the largest toad species on Earth. The thing I think that's really cool about them is just, like, look at those eyes. Like, that is really, really incredible. Like, just, they're like these dark pools that just kind of draw you in.
They really are. They're very lovely. Interesting color.
Yeah. So, I mean, it helps him camouflage and blend in. He is a toad. I know that because he has rough, warty skin, not smooth skin. So that is the main difference. And he is poisonous. So that's a really important distinction. Oh, you're actually... He doesn't usually do this, but if you look kind of... Don't jump away from me.
Oh. He doesn't want to do this show.
See how there's kind of like some white fluid right there?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
So that's actually his poison. So he's usually not a secretor, so I'm kind of surprised. He's also not usually a jumper. But he's doing both today. You're getting a show, Jann.
Wow.
So right behind his head is poison glands, and they secrete toxins from those
How is it that you're sitting there just casually hanging on to this toad?
Because it's not. Go ahead.
No, I just was thinking, are you going to get poisoned? Am I going to be calling 911 while I'm on this video?
It's not dangerous to people, and the difference between poison and venom is injected, poison is ingested. So if I licked the toad, which I'm not going to do, then that would be how I would get the poison.
Oh, Jason.
It's not one of my past.
I licked the toad. It's a sentence I didn't expect on hearing today.
You should know not to expect anything, to expect the unexpected with me.
Yes.
So poison is ingested, not injected. So things like cobras, rattlesnakes, bees, scorpions, they're venomous, not poisonous. So that is a key difference. So, you know, I'm not going to eat the toad. I'm not going to try and you know, hurt it anyway. But the color does stand out against his skin, and so that is like a way of warning. Like it's going, hey, you know, leave me alone. I can make you sick. So some like cane toads, which have become invasive in Florida, Hawaii, and Australia, they are like lethally toxic. to the point where like it's hard to eradicate them naturally because anything that eats them will die.
Oh.
And they're unfortunately basically have to be euthanized on site because they're just such a massive problem in those places. But yeah, so I mean, I have licked weird things in my life, just not toads. You're trying to figure out how to respond to that, aren't you?
No, I was going to see if there was more to the sentence. And that's awesome. Yeah.
Actually, coming up in my memories in Facebook, 5 years ago, I was in Vancouver for a Bette Midler concert. And you've met Bette Midler, so I'm like 1 degree away from Bette.
Yeah.
It was amazing. And it was an amazing show. And we went to the Capilano Suspension Bridge, and there are banana slugs there. And if you lick them, your tongue goes numb.
I don't know who in their right mind would ever lick a slug. But, you know, it just sounds a lot like Tinder. So there you go.
All in the name of science, Jen.
All in the name of science. People do nutty things. I guess they lick frozen soccer poles. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Why not lick a slug?
Yeah, exactly. So my next animal is kind of hidden here, but he's giving this look here like he's going, uncover me.
Everybody, this should be a drinking game. This should be a damn drinking game. When you hear a Jann song title or an album title, take a drink. Or lick a... Oh, look at that. Or
so
lick a slug.
This is Kevin, my bearded dragon. Kevin was on the show with me, actually, on Scaled. So she's a very popular bearded dragon. And it's kind of funny because it's one of those things that sort of made me realize how humanity works. Because when we were doing the show, Animal Planet posted a whole bunch of like segments from the show and little educational bits like, this is a toad, let's learn about it. This is a tortoise, let's learn about it. And then they did a bit where they were like, Kevin needs to lose some weight, and we built a treadmill for her. 16 million views. 16 million views on Facebook. And it's like, why?
Because he was on a treadmill?
Yeah. She was on a treadmill.
Hey, I'll never get that many views with me on a frickin' treadmill. Maybe if I, showed them my beard, my bearded lady. What is that? No, I'm never going to get that many views. It is a beautiful creature, though. Wow. It just looks like vanilla.
Yeah, she's pretty. Yeah, she's hypomelanistic, which means she's lacking some pigment in her scales, and she's smoother than a regular beardy, too.
Aw, you got a cute little face. Very dinosaur-like, Jason. Yeah. Like kind of a, what is that, Triceratops kind of little shield?
Yeah.
Only on the other side of her head.
Yeah, that's her beard. So when they get scared, they puff that out and turn it black, so it looks like they have a beard.
Oh.
And they are omnivores, so they eat veggies and bugs. So as an adult, it's mostly veggies. So she gets salad, bit of fruit, some of the stuff I said with the iguana, and then she gets crickets, superworms, and hornworm caterpillars. You
are busy feeding all these things.
That is why we're doing all these videos, because these guys are not. One reptile can be a really reasonable pet to feed. 150 of them adds up.
Is that how many you have in your home?
Yes.
Can I ask when you? I don't know. How does anyone end up with 150 reptiles? Obviously, the show, your interest in them, but it is a lot of work.
So I do have someone that comes in and handles like the feeding and cleaning, and that's about 10 to 15 hours a week. Like overall, except when you're doing things like a major deep clean, they're fairly low maintenance animals. Like it's not like having, dogs where you're having to walk with them and play with them. And
what does a deep clean entail?
Taking everything out. So like with like the uromastics, taking out all the sand, all the decor, scrubbing down the enclosure, washing all the rocks and everything, putting new sand in. But you only do that maybe once or twice a year. So,
Right.
aside from that, it's just like, oh, you pooped, you pick it up, you throw it away, you continue on.
Yeah, you never really think of all those things that you're having to constantly stay on top of.
But
Are people able to donate, Jason?
Yeah, we do have a Patreon, so we're doing like exclusive content on Patreon, which I've had a lot of relief from doing. We can take EMT donations, or just people doing things like booking these shows. All help. Nitty, you interrupt everything.
If everybody watching wants to throw in like $1 or $2, that would be friggin' awesome.
So I know you've got some free time on your hands, and so I came up with a top 10 list of Jann Arden songs that can be rewritten for Reptiles for a future Reptile-themed album. So are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Son of a Chameleon.
Oh.
Because you do that great cover of Son of a Preacher Man.
Yeah. Son of a. Oh, I know. I'm getting T-shirts made.
Could I Be Your Turtle?
Yes, you can.
Love Is the Only Boa.
That's the best one so far.
In Your Snake Keeping.
In Your Snake Keeping.
We're snake keepers.
Yep.
And like a snake and other lizards that do this with their tongue, Taste of This Air. Why Do I Hop? Why Do I
Talk?
Aww. Willing to Crawl Down.
No.
Wonder Tortoise.
They really are wonders, though. They are wonders.
Be My Lover, Be My Shelled Baby, Be My Wonder Tortoise.
Yeah.
Hanging by a Tail.
No. A tail that can get shot off if you don't know what you're doing.
Chameleons, there's different skinks that have like a prehensile tail. I kind of wrestled with picking that one because I know that's a really emotional song for you. But
no, it's fair game. This is completely fair game.
And then my favorite, because it's one of my favorite songs as well, and I've seen some situations where this has been the basis of the relationship. I Only Wanted Snakes.
Of course you did. I only wanted...
When you have a whole bunch of reptiles and you're breaking up and you need to move, that guy with a pickup truck comes really handy in moving all the enclosures.
Oh, for sure. I'm just picturing you having to move anywhere. And are you a renter or do you own your home?
I'm a renter right now.
So does the landlord know that you have 150 reptiles?
Not something you can hide. Yeah.
No, you can't hide that. You can't friggin' hide that.
Yep.
Well, I think that's cool. I mean, occasionally we hear about a giant snake eating a child, but it's a rarity. I just am fascinated in your life and the way you've made your way through the world. I just think it's absolutely fantastic.
Thank you.
And you must have been very young when you started down this road of being interested. I can only imagine what your family must have been like. Oh, Jason, here he goes again. He's spending every last friggin' dime he has on a whatever.
Yeah. That in concerts.
Oh, hey, it's a good combo to have. Yeah. Listen, you've supported me for so many years. I mean, it's like we're all finding right now, people pay my way.
Yeah.
They pay my way. They put a roof over my head and it's not lost on me, not being able to go out and tour, or you can't go out and do your shows. And it's great that you're able to do this online and a little bit, to the point where you can see them. Yeah. I just found it fascinating. I love them all.
Well, I hope you'll love the last one. And I actually want to make a suggestion. Okay. I know the dates haven't been formally rescheduled yet.
Yes.
But, and people don't realize there's so many logistics in trying to sort out your venues and your routing and stuff. But
they really are. They are doing venues now. And I'm almost positive we'll be looking at like March, April, May of next year. But that's right across the board for the whole industry. So I think everyone's looking at rebooting it there. But I think it'll look pretty much the same. I don't think there's going to be theaters with, every fifth seat removed or anything like that. Everyone's feeling pretty confident that, you'll go in, you might get your temperature taken, but you'll be in there sitting in the seats and seeing music again. So I think people feel pretty confident.
So I want you to picture, you just perform Good Mother, the lights go down, everyone's like, yeah, Jann!
Yeah.
And then the lights come up for the encore, and you come out in a leather jacket and a cane, and you prepare for your medley tribute to Alice Cooper.
Oh my! See now, you know that Chris, my road manager, would literally throw this phone across the room right now.
Yeah.
He can't do snakes. So what is this?
This is a Hog Island boa. This is actually considered a smaller boa species. Which is,
oh my gosh.
So he is from the Hog Islands, which are found near Honduras. And they're one of the many boa species that are found primarily this side of the planet, so like North, South, and Central America, but there are a few boas found in like Africa and Madagascar. But like the pattern on him.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Gorgeous. And you can just, get all the cords. And
now, what does he eat?
He eats he eats large rats. So he eats, and they're frozen thawed. They're not live. So he eats rodent popsicles. There's another Jann Arden song for you.
No. No.
The snake version of Jann Arden would probably rate that song. You were my rodent popsicle.
Rodent popsicle. Well, oh my gosh.
I know it's a tough thing.
Well, I think Rick Mercer made me hold a snake around my neck at the Calgary Zoo. And it's the first time I've ever touched a snake. And it's nothing you forget. You never forget what it feels like. It's very bizarre.
Yeah. I've had so many experiences with people that have never touched a snake or held a snake. And even probably my two favorite experiences. One was a family, and their entire family was from India. And so there were a lot of adults there. And grandma kind of had a bit of a reaction when I took out the first snake, and she was speaking in Punjabi, so I had no idea what she was saying, but they just said, she's afraid of snakes, which is understandable because in India they have kraits and they have cobras and venomous snakes like that. And then she touched a boa constrictor at the end of the show, and it was like a massive deal. Like the entire family was just like watching in shocked anticipation.
Is this a poisonous snake?
No, this is a constrictor, so they squeeze their food. And then I also had a guy that came up to me at an event who was terrified of snakes because when he was 12 years old and growing up in Africa, he woke up and there was a black mamba in bed with him.
I would die.
He almost did because he panicked and the snake bit him. And he even showed me the scar on his shoulder that they cut to start extracting the venom.
Oh.
And he held a much smaller snake. He held a ball python. And Jann, he was so like exuberant, like so proud of himself, and so
so he should be.
He faced
to get past that is something else.
So and so I know if that guy who got bit by a black mamba can hold a snake, I know Chris can hold a snake.
It'll never happen. It'll never ever happen. Like I'm telling you, he would just throw this. I mean, they really are elegant. They're beautiful. I think maybe everything goes back to the biblical storytelling about, the snakes were so bad and that we always associated them with sin. I don't know, maybe I'm going out on a limb here, but I just feel like they got a bad shake from very early mythology in any of any literature, they just were perceived as not good. And then Indiana Jones didn't help things at all either.
No. Well, and just lack of information, right? Like, people don't realize how important snakes are. They eat rodents, they eat pests. Like, you know, they're so important for farmers. But I see that far too often. I think you probably learned at this point not to read the comments. I haven't quite gotten there yet. So, you know, you see a story on a snake and people are like, the only good snake is a dead snake. Like,
no, I don't feel that way. I mean, I'm fascinated by them. I think, you know, the few times in my life that I've seen, you know, like a rollerblading guy going down Venice Beach with a giant snake around his neck and a boom and a you know, a boom box in the other hand, and you kind of look at it like, and you know that they really love their animals. Like, they might as well be there with their puppies. Like, they really, really love these animals, and it is their pride and joy, and they spend every dollar that they have looking after them. So it's it's a lot of work. I feel for parents that, like, your parents or your family, like, I want another snake. It's like, oh, Jason.
I wasn't allowed to have one. Mom,
until you were off and on your own, right?
Yep.
Well, good for you. I've loved this. I've learned a few things today. Pancake turtle, had no idea. Had no idea of venom and poison. Now I know the difference. I don't know why that never crossed my mind before.
I've taught Jann Arden things. That's crazy.
Yes. This has been
Jann,
great.
Stay on the line. I'm going to say our goodbye, and then you and I are going to have some off-screen chat because I love you too much to let you go yet.
Okay.
So thanks for joining us, everybody. And I hope you enjoyed this with Jann Arden. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. We've got lots of cool stuff that we're constantly doing. And I want to thank Jann for doing this. This is really special. So
I loved it. We'll do it again. We'll do it again. I'm always up for anything. But perfect. You're amazing, and thanks for being in the world. And yes, I learned a lot. We'll see you next time.